I used to say in the beginning, I'm going to do it tired, I'm going to do it broke, I'm going to do it by myself.
That's right.
Because entrepreneurship is lonely because nobody is going to believe and understand. They're going to be like, oh, they're going to listen to you, but nobody's going to feel it. You know, the challenges are the imposter syndrome. Can we do it? So I've been doing this for almost 15 years, so why would doing it for myself be a challenge? When people are coming to you and they are enlisting your services, one of the biggest challenges I have, because not only do we have new businesses, we have established businesses as well. When you have the autonomy as a business owner to take your meeting at noon or whatever, you can get lazy. You can get complacent. This is just a key to my success. I work like I still work for somebody else.
Yes.
I get up, I get my kids ready, I get dressed, I go to the office, and I leave at a certain time. And then I have a schedule. I work Monday through Thursday. I do not work Friday. But I have a very clear regimen. You have to, because it is so easy to fall off.
That's good. That's really good. And I can tell you're passionate about this, like 100%.
I am, because I'm very passionate not only about for entrepreneurs and stepping out on your own and seeing what you're made of. I'm passionate about the minority Black dollar, because we are the first to do it.
Yeah.
And we're also the first that they replicate from. And they don't give us the credit. And it's because we have not set our business up for success.
Yeah.
Because they have taken from us and we built this country.
Hello, boss ladies. It's your girl, Victoria Odekomaya, here with you again to help you build bankable brand, show up with bold visibility, and create content that actually connects. Today, I have a special guest, one of our 2025 March Boss Ladies. She was featured in the Boss Ladies magazine, and she has an incredible story. I am really excited to bring her on because, look, if you're wondering, you know, like if you're in corporate and you're like, oh my God, I don't know if I want to do this, but you have the strong passion to start something that you really believe in, then you're going to be inspired by Les Marie of the Les Marie firm. This woman is very dynamic. She is doing it. Like, she's doing the do, and I know you're going to be really inspired and very encouraged after this episode. So make sure you stay tuned with us. But without much ado, let's get into it. How are you?
Hi, thank you for having me.
Oh my goodness. I am so happy that you're here for a lot of reasons, because I feel like the two of us have a lot of things in common with, like, you know, being ex-corporates and coming into and doing the do, right?
Yeah.
And you are just killing it in your field. And I want to share, you know, use this opportunity to share your story. But before we go into, like, tell us a little bit about you, about your firm.
Okay, so I'm Les Marie from the Les Marie firm. We have officially been in business in our second year, so I'm extremely blessed and grateful for that. So the Les Marie firm was started kind of by an idea from leaving corporate of what do we do? How do we make minority businesses, small businesses, entrepreneurs successful? How do we give them all of the strategic planning? How do we give them the operational and the fundamental guidance, wraparound services, that they have all of the resources and tools they need to succeed? So that's kind of how I came about. I wanted to give, after, you know, being in operations for almost 15 years, I wanted to make sure that everything that the big Fortune 5 companies had, entrepreneurs had that, had access to that. You know, I'm a firm believer that it's not that we don't have the product, we don't have the service, we don't have the idea, is we don't have the resources.
Yes.
We don't have the backing. We don't have, you know, people guiding us into the directions that we can be to be successful. Right. So that's how the firm started. I made sure that anything you needed for a business, whether it was operations, whether it's business setup, branding and marketing, making sure your website and logo and your branding was just overall clear and concise. If you had employees, making sure that human resources was, you know, in order and decency, and overall compliance. And then the big thing, your money, the financial advisory piece. Make sure that entrepreneurs, because that's the smallest thing on the to-do list. We're robbing Peter to pay Paul.
That's right.
But, you know, making sure you have a bookkeeping service, making sure, you know, even if you're writing it on a piece of paper, I spent this, I did this, but making sure that you have overall know where your money is going, where your money is spent, and then what your overall profit or loss is, but just making sure you know.
Yes.
So really just teaching entrepreneurs what they need, just the basics to, you know, be sustainable and scale.
That's amazing. I love everything that you're doing, but I have to touch on the name, the Les Marie firm. I love that name.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm owning this. How did you come up with that?
Okay, so my name is Leslie.
Yeah.
And I was named after someone.
Okay.
And it was kind of, symbolic. All my life I was named after someone, and then Leslie was who I was in corporate. And when I left, it was a lot of things that I left at that time. God sent me through more of a shedding period. I didn't know. A lot of times we don't know that's what we're
When it's
going through.
happening, yes.
So I was just going through a shedding period. And when I was looking and thinking of names, I was like, my family used to call me Les all the time.
Okay.
So my family called me Les, and then I had an aunt that called me Marie because she didn't like that I was named.
I see.
She wanted me to have my own identity. So they would call me Marie. So I kind of just went back to that, and I was like, okay, Les Marie, and it was gonna be Les Marie Agency, Les Marie Organization. I mean, and then one day it just came to me, and I was like, the firm, Les
Yeah.
Marie Firm.
I love
and it
that.
just came about.
And I think I also like the fact that you just go by Les Marie, period. Like, I know your last name, but, because I remember when we were doing the magazine, I was like, what's the last name? She was like,
That's it.
That's it. I like that. That's very affirming. I feel like a lot of us that are, a lot of people out there that are starting their business, there's still a lot of scares, we're scared, we're afraid, which is normal, but you also have to like own your story. Own your, I feel like you have to be confident in certain things, because if you don't have that confidence, people cannot buy into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, for me, and I've been saying this, and it's something, I get on kicks, but things that have just been speaking to me, because just even for my clients that kind of have doubt or kind of get burnt out, or they don't know if what they're doing is right. I tell them all the time, anything that I've been through, because, it has not been easy. Anything that I've been through, I was in a period that it was like, oh my God, woe is me. Why is it this way? I've never had it easy. And then I finally, it's a scripture that says, well, why not you? And then I kind of realized that after that, and a lot of just talking and with myself and, that mirror work, it was, first of all, nothing about me is average. My dreams, my goals, my ambitions, none of them are average.
I love that.
And so any trials that I go through, any tribulations, any roadblocks, those are not going to be average either.
That's right.
The things that I'm up against are not going to be lightweight because mediocre is easy.
That's
so
right.
nothing about me is mediocre. So my problems are not going to be mediocre
That's
either.
right.
So when you're an entrepreneur, and when you, not just in life, you have to affirm who you are, and you have to be okay with that. All the quirks. I have a very quirky personality. Sometimes it rubs people the wrong way. So people don't know how to take me, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
That it's me. And if the people that are supposed to get to know me, the people that are supposed to bypass my quirkiness and, some twits about me, it's okay.
Yes.
And the people that don't, those aren't for me. And that
Yeah.
is a very hard pill to swallow. But in business, it sets you up for those are not your clients.
That's right.
So the people that don't take you, accept you, go with you, those are not your clients. Those are not for you.
And we have to be okay with that.
And you have to be okay with that.
Because you're not for everyone, and it goes into your marketing, it goes into your branding. You can streamline. Before we started this, we were talking a little bit about the finances, and you also mentioned that a little bit too here. Like, if you're trying to appeal to everyone, you're going to wear yourself out, and you're not going to be able to make profit in your business, because not everybody would resonate with that.
Or you're going to make profit, but you're not going to be doing what you love, because you're going to have a level of clientele that is not for you.
Yes.
That's not your vision, because you're just taking the money. So I did that in the beginning. I cut deals. I took everybody, and I had to really set back after the year, because you do a reflection. What went well, just like in corporate. What went well? What was some downfalls, and then what are we going to do different to expand the next year?
Right.
And what I realized is I compromised. And you don't do that. You don't do that with your business. You don't really do that in life, but personal is kind of different.
Right.
But in business, you have to have a hard no. My hard no, and it's okay. And you have to be selective about your clientele. So everybody that I kind of those were the headaches. So what I did, coming in 2025, I made sure that my idea, I wrote what my idea client was and that's what I stuck with. And my price was my price.
That's right.
So when you negotiate, when you kind of bring down your value and then sacrifice your value, you get different kind of clientele.
That's it.
And, so you can make the money, but it's the money. So then you're going to end up doing when you were working for somebody else, which you don't love.
That's right.
And you're back on a cycle.
Exactly. So it's almost like you're back in corporate, basically, but working for yourself.
Right.
That's
And you know, the hours are longer, the sacrifices are longer, the tears are long, or you know, are more. The emotions are in it because everything is riding on this. You cannot fail.
That's
so yeah, you got to be selective.
That's I really like that. So for someone out there that is thinking, I'm trying to get out of corporate, I'm afraid, I don't know where to start. You have a business that is set up to help them make that start.
Correct.
So tell us a little bit, just for someone listening out there, like, I don't know what to do. What are some of the things that they can do or they should be doing or things that you can offer them to get started?
So if you're trying to get started, the first thing that we set up is we set your business up in a corporate style operating model. You know, it's not rigid. It just makes sure all of the compliance, all of the legalities, everything that you need to be set up for success is done right. Because it's easy to start a business and put it together with pens and paper clips and what did my mother used to say, gum and sticky tack. But if you set it up right the first way, you don't have to go back and fix it. And, you know, because the one thing about the IRS is a lot of people you can play with. Uncle Sam is not one of them. And when they come and ask you those questions, you can spend a lot of people, but you cannot spend the IRS. So if it's done right, if you've got your finances done right, if everything is set up right, you don't have to kind of backtrack. So that's what we do. We set your business up in a foundation. And then if your foundation is secure, it's just like a house. Everything will keep building. You can build from the top, you can expand. But if that foundation is shaky and it crumbles, you're going to always be trying to kind of level it, go back, and sometimes start all over.
That's right. You know, the other thing that I was thinking is that when you have a strong foundation, it gives you the confidence too. Like, I have a legitimate business. But when you're still doing it as a hobby, you know, like you said, pinning things together, like you would not even run the business like a business.
No.
You know, but when you have all your paperwork done, I think there's a certain level of confidence that comes with that.
Yes. And the one thing that I'm proud about is that I have put a team together, and even if I had to outsource, of resources that small business owners, entrepreneurs would not normally have access to. So, you know, finances, we have accounting, bookkeeper, CPA, human resources, if you have employees, you know, a full human resource team, branding and marketing. Some people are still putting their website on GoDaddy. We have top of the line, you know, your website is built for success with SEO optimization, search engine. You know, we make sure that people can find you.
Yes.
A lot of people don't even know how the internet works. It's just like real estate. So, you know, in GPS. So your house is always there, just like your website is there. But if no one knows the directions, if no one can get to you, your house is just there. Nobody's going to come and visit you. And it's the same thing for your website. So you have to have everything in place so people can navigate to your website. You know, and we educate because the goal is not for you to have the firm with you all the time. It's setting you up for success because we want to help more entrepreneurs. So we want to get you to a place that you can roll off and be competent and, you know, run your business successfully. And then we can help more entrepreneurs. But that's the overall goal. It's kind of like a wraparound services for entrepreneurs.
That's good. That's really good. And I can tell you're passionate about this. Like 100%.
I am, because I'm very passionate not only about for entrepreneurs and stepping out on your own and seeing what you're made of. I'm passionate about the minority Black dollar because we are the first to do it.
Yeah.
And we're also the first that they replicate from. And they don't give us the credit. And it's because we have not set our business up for success. They stole from Madam C.J. Walker. So that's why.
Yeah.
Because they have taken from us and we built this country.
Yes. And it's so important. I love what you do a lot because sometimes when you're a small business, and I've been there, you feel like you don't have what it takes. But your services gives us that resource, the confidence, the knowingness that, okay, because it takes a lot to build a business, especially in the corporate level, right? But when you're like a solo one person, you know, you're like, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that. But that's no longer the case with the Les Marie firm.
You have a whole team behind you.
You have a whole team around you. And that just helps you know that you're building something bigger than a hobby. Because sometimes the mindset switch has to happen, you know. And for a lot of people, they're still struggling with that, which is okay. We have, you know, we all go through life differently. But I want to come back to you as a person. So when you were starting out this business, like, just take us through the whole process. I know you talked about your time in corporate, but like, was there any fear? Was there anything that kind of pushed you to like say, I'm going to do this? Like, how the transition actually happened?
So in anything, when you do it for a long time, you keep thinking, what is next? What is my next mark? What is my next promotion? And what I realized is for my tenure in corporate, I always had goals. Well, my next promotion was going to be, what my next project was going to be, how was I going to position myself for that next big bonus or that next big promotion or that next big project. And I went to a class that a gentleman was having maybe in September of, I want to say 2022 or 2023. And he had us kind of write down, what is everything that you wanted to do that you've never done? And I started writing, and he came over to my table. He said, no, I'm talking about you as a person. And it made me dawn at that moment.
Because you were writing about your career in
every
corporate.
time, it was always about what I was going to do professionally.
Got it.
And he made me scratch the paper. And he was like, no, for you, for Leslie. And Victoria, it was so profound because it was the first time in my life that I made goals for myself, that I had things that I had not done, that I had desired to do, things that I needed to unpack and work on so I can heal.
Yeah. Wow.
And Shonda Rhimes said this when she did her speech at a college. Anytime you see me successful in one area, I am failing and lacking in another. And I always wanted my kids, she said, I always wanted my kids to see that you can work and you can be successful and be independent. But what the viewers and what my fans did not see is that if I was accepting an award, I was missing a swim meet.
Yes.
And if I was at a swim meet, I was missing a deadline or a re-edit.
Right.
So it really spoke to me that I had some things to work on with Leslie that I needed to really work on so that I could have the best version of myself.
Right.
And that's how it started. And I decided that I no longer wanted to aid to people that were already rich.
Yeah.
And that's how I got started.
Yeah.
I mean, we go on and on, but that was it. That's the nut and bolts of it.
Right. So then you just, went in and started the business, like the paperwork. Okay.
No. I started doing freelance consulting.
Okay.
And I was like, I like this. I like people actually coming to me for my expertise and valuing it. And that's how I was like, and then I had friends who had businesses that always used to ask me questions or ask me. And I had a friend, she was my very first client. And she was like, you need your own business and da-da-da-da. And she was my very first client. And that's how we got started. Really consulting and helping with the operations and the strategic setup and compliance for her business. And that is really how we got started. It was by word of mouth. We didn't even market I didn't start marketing until 8 months into the business.
Wow. But you knew you had all the expertise from your experience in corporate, right?
Yes, I had the skill set and I had the expertise and I had the knowledge. But sometimes you don't know if you got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, wow. So, I'm glad that you got started. So then now, fast forward 2 years in, right? Okay.
My second year.
How is that how's everything going?
Everything is going wonderful. The team is great. We're able to add additional services. We've been able to add additional clientele because, it was it was quality over quantity. So I was never going to take more clients than I could give quality service to. Right. So now I've been able to expand the team and expand our services. And it's really, every day I'm kind of like, when you have that, I don't know if you do this at night, that kind of the reflection.
Yeah.
I have, I really reflect and I'm like, God, thank you. And in 2024, I used to pray, God, please expand my territory. And, you never really know what that means.
That's right.
And he did it.
And now it's happening. That's amazing. Wow. So I also know you're expanding to a bigger office.
Yes, we moved into a bigger space in March.
That's
And I'm
amazing.
excited about that. So, we have we sometimes do interviews with our clients in there. We have meetings. We're in a facility where even my clients who have employees, we have professional development or staff meetings there. And, it just is. I'm really excited about where we're going. I couldn't be more excited.
That's amazing. All right, so you're doing the do, you're really successful, and God is blessing you. But I know there's got to be some challenges, and you mentioned a little bit like it's a lot of work, right? Somebody out there is looking at you thinking, "Oh my gosh, she has it all together. She's doing this." I know, yeah. So tell us some of those challenges to encourage someone out there.
The challenges are the imposter syndrome. Can we do it?
Yeah.
So I've been doing this for almost 15 years. So why would doing it for myself be a challenge?
Yeah.
Questioning if you're doing the right thing. When people are coming to you and they're, enlisting your services to scale and, because one of the biggest challenges I have, because not only do we have new businesses, we have established businesses as well. Yeah. So one of my clients have been in business. She just celebrated her 7th year.
Oh, wow.
So having her business where she's been doing it for herself, I think when she came to me, it was her 6th year because she's been with me for a year. What if I mess it up? What if I broke it?
Right.
She's trusting me to do something different. And what if I don't?
Yeah.
So, you have a lot, the people put in their livelihood, their baby, that is a different kind of stress level.
Yeah.
And the only thing that I can give encouragement to anybody that wants to be an entrepreneur, that wants to step out in faith, is the first step is just doing it.
Right.
The first step is writing down the business name, establishing your LLC. The first step is having the idea.
Yes.
You've done it right there.
That's
You've had the courage to do it. So, the only thing I can tell people is to continue to have courage, continue to believe in yourself, bet on yourself every time. I think people are going to get tired of hearing me when they see me on different podcasts or interviews. People, when you start something, you're going to have a lot of, and it makes you second guess yourself. And the one thing that I will continue to tell people is, it's just like a GPS. You're not going to ask somebody how to get to a place they've never been. You're not going to ask, Arana, I'm not going to ask you for directions to my house. You've never been there.
That's right.
So why am I going to ask you an opinion or ideas for the blueprint of my life that God gave me?
That's right.
Nobody has that map but me and God.
Yes.
So that is the thing that I would tell people. Bet on yourself every time and continue to believe and have faith on the vision and the calling that God gave to you. Yeah. And as long as you're working with those things, you're going to be okay. God is going to give you the vision and the provision to succeed in anything you do.
Love that. I think the only thing that I can add is just perseverance, because the journey is tough. There will be some hard times, like you said, long nights, crying a lot, but just remembering the vision and the conversations you had with God, the blueprint, like you've mentioned too, and knowing that there is something in this for you. You know, so
I used to say in the beginning when I started this, I'm going to do it tired. I'm going to do it broke. I'm going to do it by myself.
That's right.
Because entrepreneurship is lonely. Because nobody is going to believe and understand. They're going to be like, they're going to listen to you, but nobody's going to feel it. So as long as you're ready to travel down that road and just keep doing it, do it tired, do it broke, do it by yourself, but just do it. And have that perseverance. You're going to be okay.
Yeah.
It'll all work out.
It would, yeah. I mean, for you it is. I mean, for me too, thankfully it is working out, but there's a lot of perseverance, believing in yourself, and keep going when the journey gets
and
tough.
Stress.
Yeah.
It's stressful.
It is stressful.
It's not, nobody's, people want to skip everybody has a glitz and glamour of being an entrepreneur, being my own boss, having it, but nobody really wants to talk about the dark side.
That's right.
The stressful times, the crying at night,
the late nights.
The late nights, the not knowing where, having a big project, and not knowing where the money is coming from. Payroll when you first started.
Yeah.
Because the people have to get paid.
Right.
Nobody wants to talk about that. But, that is the part. in entrepreneurship, and you cannot stop. You cannot skip the grind.
That's right.
It's a grind to it. You
is.
have to have a work ethic with it to be successful.
Yeah. And I think, speaking of work ethics, some people might be like, oh, I don't think I have it. Because I will tell you, when I started, I was a little bit worried that would I actually go to work when I don't have to go to work?
I have a thing for that. So yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah, I used to wonder, I was like, am I going to go to work? Because now I have this whole time to myself. But I mean, I still show up. But tell me about your thing.
No. So when you have the autonomy as a business owner to take your meeting at noon or whatever, you can get lazy. You can get complacent. No. Any entrepreneur, now this is just a key to my success. I work like I still work for somebody else.
Yes.
I get up, I get my kids ready, I get dressed, I go to the office, and I leave at a certain time. And then I have a schedule. I work Monday through Thursday. I do not work Friday. But I have a very clear regimen. You have to, because it is so easy to fall off. It is so easy. You have to, be consistent in your schedule and get, a very tedious schedule, because then if you want to, when you get the schedule tedious and you're kind of in a groove, then you can kind of scale back
a little. Yeah.
But if you don't do it, you'll get kind of wobbly, and you don't want your business to be wobbly. You don't want your schedule or anything like that to deter you. So just have a really good work ethic.
Yeah, and I you say that, but I do the same thing now. Like, I realized that I would show up to work anyway. Like, it's, like nobody was making me show up to work. But then the same thing is happening. We were talking a little bit before we started this, where I drop off my kids and then I make my way to work, and I have my agenda. I have my calendar. I live by my calendar.
Me too.
So, and then I have to remember to turn it off though. That's the part that I'm still struggling with. But I've made up my mind that at 5:00, I'm out of here so that I can go be a mom too.
Yes. So I was working, working 24. Sometimes I didn't sleep when I started the business. And that is one thing that I've gotten boundaries. You have to have boundaries. And I would also tell anybody when they start, set those boundaries first.
Yes.
Because at 6:00, maybe I need to do 5:00. 6:00, it's off. The firm is closed. And that's it. That is my time to unwind. That is my time to be a mom. That is my time to get myself together. And that's just, it is. And one thing that I do like about it is we do have the autonomy to make our own schedules.
Yeah.
So I don't miss things. I can say, I can block my schedule off. I can't be there because my kids need me.
Yeah.
And that's something that I'm really, if anything came out of this, I have more time. I'm able to be present and do more.
That's good. I don't think I have struck that balance yet, because just a few, like we just opened the studio, right, March 30th. And I really wanted to do it, I think, earlier in March, maybe the 15th or the 8th or something, the 8th. And I was pushing and trying everything to get it done by then. Things weren't working out. And then I was a little, putting a lot of pressure on myself. And my friends told me, like, you can move this, right? And I was like, the light bulb went off, and I was like, wait a minute, I actually can move it.
I think I told you that. What's stuck on the date? Why are we stuck on the date?
Right. So I was like, wait a minute. Yeah. So, I mean, I guess I really like that. And I'm still, I'm still trying to, realize that I have control of this thing. I'm building this thing. I can make changes, but I guess for me, it's a work in progress. But I like that. The confidence with which you even speak of that, it's very empowering for me.
Because if, I could be good at anything.
Right.
But if I'm not good at a mom, what am I doing all this for? I want my daughter to be able to say, I'm proud of her.
Yes.
Even when I worked for a job, I want her to be able to say, and she's not going to say it now, it's probably going to be when she's 25 or 30. Right. I want her to say, my mom worked hard.
Right.
I was proud of her. And she went through a lot. And she overcame a lot, and she gave me a lot. She was there for me. And then I want her to be able to see the evolution. I want her to be able to see, when I was in 7th grade, that's when my mom was there. And I think that will make up for all the times that I wasn't, all the time I traveled for work. But I want the high school, I want everything like I keep saying, what did I do all this for? If my daughter cannot speak highly of me, if my daughter cannot say, what did I do it for?
That's good. You're speaking like a CEO.
I
love
am.
it. Yeah. And so that's something that I was just thinking about. I'm going to start a series online, just filming myself working in my CEO era. And I just love everything that you're talking about because it's just giving me that CEO energy, So this is really cool. And I think it's really important that we set those boundaries. We know exactly what we're doing and why we're doing it up front too, because then it makes the journey even more sweeter, if you will. Like, you know that all the sacrifices that you're making is not in vain. There's a result, that you're aiming for. And when that time comes, you can really be, like, oh, wow, enjoy that moment too. So, yeah, it's amazing. So I know you have a foundation as well. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, Let's Advocate. It's a non-for-profit mental health advocacy program. And, I kind of talked about in the beginning how I got started of really needing to heal about stuff. And I realized that, like the business, all of the tools and resources you need to run your business, the advocacy program is a mental health advocacy for women and children, for mothers that are in the workplace that are suffering for mental illness. And a lot of times we just don't know that we're suffering. It is because we're always so busy, we're stressed, we're high strung, and we're just doing the do, as you would say. We're going through life, and there's really a problem.
Right.
And sadly, it trickles down to your children. When the mother is not happy, studies have shown success of a child is solely a proponent to the happiness of the mom. So I realized in my tenure in corporate that I had not only myself was suffering, that I had employees that were suffering with their children, their self. They needed to call off work. They were about to lose their job for attendance because they were having to go pick their kids up because they were getting in trouble, or they were on IEPs and they had to go to case conferences, doctor's appointments. And no one told them, hey, there's FMLA. Hey, there's EAP services. Hey, there are resources that can help you get through this.
Right.
And not only this, in the Black community, mental health, depending on what type of insurance you have, it's kind of glazed over. If you go to your primary care doctor, they're going to put kind of a pin to kind of get you by.
That's right.
The Let's Advocate's goal is to put you with providers and resources that you normally would not have access to. A care plan, something that follows you, that kind of really regulates you and gets to the root of the problem. We, help advocate for you with the FMLA in the workplace. And then on the child side, we have services that our kids go misdiagnosed all the time. And when they get on these IEPs or 504 plans, the school puts them on it, but it really doesn't tell you, and then we feel like our children are plagued. And it's not really. It's just like if you had mental health, is just like if you had cancer. No one's going to look at you sideways because you lost your hair and you're going through chemo.
Right.
It's the same thing, but it's a crisis that we are not tending to.
We don't talk about it
We
enough.
don't talk about it at all. And it's kind of like we're kind of shamed for it.
Yeah.
And, I kind of talked in the beginning about my quirks and my personality, and then until you get to know me, you really don't know the struggle behind that.
That's right.
And kind of that's how the advocacy came about, because I had moms, that were, stressed about calling off work, or sometimes not even going to do what they needed to do as a mom because they were scared about their job. And, and I would pull them to the side and say, hey, this is what you need to do. This is what you, and then, for the children, the school system is not fighting for our kids.
Yeah.
And you have to go in there and say, hey, my child is supposed to be in general population and in their classroom this % of the time. Why isn't he? Why isn't she? And that's what the advocacy does. We work with your child. We look at the case. We make sure that all the rights are afforded to them. Hey, you put my child on an IEP. That's great. Now, everything that they're supposed to have, all the resources that you're supposed to do as a school system, I want them. And Let's Advocate make sure they get them. And for the mom, we make sure that you are well, and we follow behind you. We advocate for you. We help you advocate for yourself so you can be better, so you can heal. So at the end of the day, like I keep saying, if we're not good at being moms, what are we doing this for?
Right.
If we're not even good at being our best self, why are we doing it?
That's right.
And that's how Let's Advocate came, because I really wish somebody came to advocate for me. Somebody came to get me. When I was spiraling or whatever I was going through, if somebody stopped and said, hey, these are the resources. These are the things. This is the evaluation. Just talk to somebody. If someone would have came and reached and got me, I just really wish I had that.
Yeah.
So I created a space that somebody else didn't know. I went to the doctor one time and she said, you really just slipped through the cracks.
Wow.
After that, I started and worked on the non-for-profit because nobody else was going to slip through the cracks.
I remember you said that to me one of the first times we met. Nobody else is slipping through the cracks. I love that. All right. So I know some people out there wondering, well, how can I reach out to her? Is she gonna? Am I an ideal client for the Les Marie firm? Tell us a little bit about your ideal clients and how they can reach you.
So my ideal client is anybody that's serious about their business, anybody that wants to start their business, scale their business, evolve their business. That's my ideal business management client. What I am working on for 2026 and what I'm so excited about is, our human resources, really expanding that. If you are a small or mid-sized company and you are looking to outsource your human resources, study has shown that human resources outside of the company makes it easier for business owners and CEOs. It kind of gives, the off-putting on somebody else. And it kind of takes the employee engagement, payroll, compliance, all of that out of the company, and it gives it to someone else to manage. That is my ideal client for 2026. If you have a small to medium, large size staff and you're looking for a team to help you with that organization with employee engagement, EAP services, payroll, employee benefits, anything like that, onboarding, terminations, we are here to help.
That's amazing. That's great. Wow. Well, thank you so much for your time today. This has been a great conversation. I feel like I got to know you a little bit more. But if you are wondering and wanting to learn more about Les Marie, you can read about her story in the current edition of the Boss Ladies magazine, but I also want to encourage you to visit our website. Look, really well done. When I tell you exceptional service, excellence, this lady is excellent. And so I also want to encourage you to make sure that you reach out to her. We're going to put all your information, on the links. You already know how that goes, either in the description or somewhere up there. It's going to be showing up. I encourage you to connect with her on LinkedIn. Where are you most active on?
I am most active really on because, so if you go to the website and you fill out, the inquiry information, I get right back to you.
Okay.
And we also have Leslie M. Rogers on LinkedIn. And then you also can go on our Instagram page for our entrepreneurs because that is more of a streamlined approach for them at the Les Marie firm.
That's right. Okay, so we're going to make sure we put all of that on the links so that you can reach out to her. But I strongly encourage that you do and check out some of the services that you offer. I know that she offers. I know you would be really, really empowered and that would help your business as well. But until next time, keep living out boldly and sharing your story because you never know, somebody out there is waiting for you. And unless you do, you're actually blocking their progress. Thank you.